For a day at least, Surrey's problems were forgotten as, at the age of 18 years and 21 days, Dominic Sibley, remember the name, became the county's youngest scorer of a first-class 100 when he immediately converted into a double ton, a remarkable and record-breaking achievement as his side built up a decent lead on the penultimate day of their LV County Championship match with Yorkshire at the Kia Oval. Sibley began the day on 81 in just his third first-class match out of his side's 172 for 1, which left them 262 runs behind Yorkshire, and while he settled in, he left it to the night watchman Tim Linley to get the scoreboard moving. Linley was LBW to Adil Rashid after 35 minutes with the total on 190 for 2, but that was to be Yorkshire's last success for 56 overs. For the majority of those, Hashim Amla looked the class act we all know him to be. With the result having nothing riding on it, Surrey had prepared a pitch which was much better to bat on than many of the others used this summer, and Amla took full toll. At times he made batting look ridiculously easy as he produced one stunning shot after another. Andrew Gale had blocked off Sibley's scoring shots. This his first real stroke of aggression in the first 85 minutes of play. Indeed, he took 98 deliveries to move from his overnight 81 to his record-breaking 100 as the schoolboy from Whitgift School, who was given time off to play in the last 3 championship games of the summer, swept Rashid to the boundary for his 12th 4 to go with his 1-6. He'd batted with great concentration and patience, things not normally associated with one so young, to reach his wonderful ton off 301 balls, yet it was only a start. He admitted later that it was a dream to bat with Amla at the other end, and the South African eased to his own 50 from 72 balls, from which he'd struck 4 fours. He too was just warming up as the Yorkshire attack was about to find out. Just to make Sibley's day even more perfect, he had the best seat in the house to watch Amla at his sublime best. Of course, it was at this ground where he helped his countrymen to the #1 spot in the world with a triple 100, and he looked in the mood to make something like that again on this occasion as he batted with such class, picking off his boundaries at will by now. He belted Rashid into the stands to move into the 90s, and his 100 was reached off just his 112th delivery with his 10th 4 to go with that maximum. While Sibley has to take all the headlines, of course, on any other day there would have been some glowing prose written about Amla's exceptional innings. It was awesome stuff indeed. Sibley meanwhile showed no signs of tiring or losing his way, and he batted on and on in what was simply an extraordinary performance. He must by now have been dreaming of a double ton as he got to his 150, the kind of score many very good players have never reached, never mind a kid from a nearby school who still has his A-levels to do. They should be a cinch after this. He had by now faced an incredible 394 deliveries, offering only one chance when he'd made 8. Amla was by now seeing the ball so well that he could hit it exactly where he wanted it to go. Many a 4 was struck by him, and he also added a second maximum of Adam Lythe. Sibley should have departed on 159, but somehow Johnny Bairstow dropped a sitter off Ryan Sidebottom. It clearly was going to be the young man's day. It was a huge surprise when Amla was out instead. Having waltzed to 151 off 154 deliveries, he walked off to the offside before edging a drive off Sidebottom, which this time was held by Bairstow, to bring an end to a partnership of 236. With only 3 wickets down, Surrey, who've had such a terrible time with the bat this summer, moved past Yorkshire's first innings total of 434, with Vikram Solanki simply picking up where Amla had got off. The former Worcestershire man is having a strong finish to this campaign, even though he could also really admire the workings of his young partner. He had now batted through 2 more sessions and was still going as Solanki decided to have a real go. No bowler was saved from his onslaught as he started to hit 6s for fun. There was still a game to win here, and in order to do that, Surrey did have to get a wriggle on to get as far ahead as possible by the end of the day. A third 6 took Solanki to his 50, which was made off only 45 balls. From those he'd struck those 3 maximums and 5 fours, and had taken his side beyond 500. It's taken Surrey a number of innings to make 500 runs at times this summer. Sibley was left on 181 when Sri Lanka's enterprising knot was ended by Rashid. Gary balanced with the catch in the deep as the batsman departed for 51 at 502 for 4, the lead standing at 68. So now all the attention turned to the young opener, who was closing in on becoming the youngest ever player to score a double hundred in the history of the county championship. Only some bloke called W.G. Grace has scored a double ton at a younger age. It's difficult for any of us to imagine what must have been going through his mind when on 199, Sibley shuffled down the pitch to Kane Williamson and flicked him through mid-wicket to create history. What a moment it must have been, not just for him, but for all of his teammates and all of those lucky enough to be at the Kia Oval. After 9.5 hours and after facing 484 balls, he had achieved the remarkable. As a 15-year-old, Sibley made a double hundred at club cricket level, and he's also scored a ton for the England under-19s in South Africa, and by the end of this day, he was still unbeaten on 221. It's obviously a day he'll never forget. What can he do next as well on the final day of the season? After 90 more minutes at the crease, he will have been going for 10 hours. He's already seen off 512 balls, and Surrey will probably want to add a few more runs to their 572 for 4, which gives them a lead of 138. Could he now race to a triple hundred? He's already produced the longest innings of the summer by any batsman, beating Alex Lees's 555-minute, 436-ball stay for Yorkshire against Derbyshire back in July.